So my name is Hoek Swaratlhe. I come from Soweto, but I mean I've lived like in different spaces. I grew up in Middlelands, and I moved from Middlelands, went to MDNE, then moved again from MDNE, went to White City just a little bit, and I moved from White City, went to Omonde View, then from Omonde View I went back to MDNE. So yeah, so primarily I'm a photographer. I studied at the Market Photo Workshop, graduated in 2018, and and then now I'm practicing fine art. I think and then in 2022, I had an exhibition at the Market Photo Workshop, which was for Dladla. However, I think my idea of an exhibition, I mean, growing up, I didn't know like what was the exhibition, what's the meaning of an exhibition, so took pictures around my neighborhood, and I had an exhibition, which is exhibition for me. It was, I had that idea of an exhibition being in these special spaces, like galleries that are far, from Tina. I mean, it's a like those spaces are far from us, But however, my idea of an exhibition, or my understanding of an exhibition, it's me showcasing my work, So it's like me, I'm taking these pictures and now I'm printing them. Then it's a space where people can come and view all my pictures or the art that I've created. So that's an idea for an exhibition. But I feel like exhibition now, or maybe the society has made exhibition to be something like, it's something that is out of this world. Like for you to have an exhibition, you have to work with a specific gallery, or maybe you can't exhibit without a gallery, which is, I don't think is true, because you can exhibit your work like anywhere. You can exhibit your work like in a park, you can exhibit your work like in a taxi, or in a space where you don't feel, or maybe the curators or the culture doesn't feel comfortable. I feel like alternative spaces for me, they work. Why? Because not a lot of people can access the art fairs. Why? Because they're expensive. Well, let me not say they're expensive, but a lot of people can't afford to purchase like those tickets to go to those spaces, right? Especially people from the township, because that's where I come from, And I feel like alternative spaces work like in terms of like an online exhibition, because now everyone now has like an access to free Wi-Fi, whether it's in a public school or maybe in a public space or in a taxi, so people can view or see your work, as opposed to just your work being exhibited in a specific gallery, which is far from the community or the people that you're trying to represent. So I feel like alternative spaces, they work. However, I feel like alternative spaces are not being, we're not utilizing alternative spaces like the way we should, because like we have like in our communities, we have like walls, community wall, we have community schools. There's still space. If you really, really want to showcase like your work, like you can showcase your work anywhere. I feel like hybrid spaces, they are more, not challenging, but they're more interesting, because our people, and when I'm saying like our people, it's like our community, most of them, they work like with these hybrid spaces. So now finding, or maybe putting your art there in hybrid spaces, I think for me, it's a very interesting thing, because now people that are within your family or within your community can get a chance to view like your work there, So I think even that, the hybrid spaces, I think it would be more interesting to see like a lot of artists like putting their works like there, like such spaces like your banks, maybe your corporate, or maybe malls, because that's where like a number or a group of people like eventually like do their shopping. So now your work can be more exposed like in spaces like that. I think in hybrid spaces, it will give artists opportunities for their works to be bought, because in hybrid spaces, that's where you find like people that, as unfortunately, people that have money or people that can buy the art, but they are not exposed to the art. Because I think in hybrid spaces, like your work, if it's presented like in a proper way or maybe in a nice way, like someone might say, okay, cool, no, I find this work or this art piece like interesting, maybe for my living room or don, you know. So yeah, man, I think it's a good opportunity for artists to showcase their work like in hybrid spaces, you know. So it means more exposure for the artist, and more, or maybe the art itself can create like more dialogue, you know, with the people, depending with what is your message or what are you trying to say with your art. I'm a cyclist, you know, like I cycle like most of the time. And me cycling, sometimes it's just me just picking up my camera and just looking for inspiration, you know, in the township. And there was this particular house that was that I saw the first week. Then the second week, when I passed that house, it was being renovated. And that house was like, it had like the original structure of the four-roomed house, right? So I started documenting the houses because I felt the urge or the need to document like these four-roomed houses, because I felt like, okay, cool, these houses, like in years to come, the structure will disappear. Then I started documenting all those houses, right? So started cycling from one township to another one, you know, started cycling and then documenting all these houses. Cool. 2020, okay, then I applied for an open call at the Market Photo Workshop. It got accepted. I had a solo exhibition at the Market Photo Workshop, it was 2022. It was called Fodlala. Fodlala meaning like the four-roomed house, like that's a term that we use like in a township. Fodlala, Emaforumini, Matchbox House, you know, and but now, after the exhibition, it was a thing which you could, my mentor was like, okay, what now? Because now we need to now invest in this four-letter project. We need to understand what's the real meaning of this four-room house that you are documenting or that you just exhibited. Then I started reading Douglas Calderwood thesis. It's about NE 51s. NE 51s, it's not, well, it stands for non-European houses that were built in 1951. So that's the real name of the four-roomed house that you are seeing, like I've been documenting the original one. So the interest, of course, like it became, you know, more. Then I started reading like the thesis of Douglas Calderwood, where he speaks about the bricks, like he's explaining like the name of the brick, the name of the windows, why the windows were built like that, you know, why the outside toilet. So my interest, I think it became like more, and then I challenged myself with other different mediums, because I'm using like my photographs, but to do like other art mediums, well, lino cut, etching, and so forth, you know. So the name of the project that I'm showcasing is NE 51, referencing the body of work that I did in 2022, which was a strictly photographic exhibition. But this one, it's more of me challenging myself or using the material that I shot or that I used 2022. The most interesting thing that is happening, because I'm still cycling, even yesterday I was cycling, you know, with my camera. So I'm still taking pictures of the township, and now because I shot like the exteriors, now I'm moving inside the houses now, shooting the interior. So now the experience that I have with the whole project is the community, you know, telling me sad stories about these four-roomed houses, you know, their challenges about these four-roomed houses. But now there's this thing that is happening like in the township where like families are trying to sell the property without the other family members knowing. So that's the experience now that I'm experiencing now, whereby family members are writing their four-roomed house, like this house is not for sale. So that's another experience now that I'm faced with. That's another challenge that I'm faced with. That's another body of work that I'm working, with now. But it's sad to experience that, because now as soon as I walk in someone's property and then they see like a camera and this guy with the camera and his bicycle, they're thinking maybe I'm the I don't know I'm their savior, So those are the experiences that I've been challenged with now, But unfortunately, those are the realities of life. And those are the things that are real. Those are the challenges. So I don't want to sugarcoat and say, oh, no, the experience is nice. Yes, some other spaces like the experience is nice. Like it's, they allow you to take pictures of the house, Some, of course, like, okay, no, can you take a family portrait of us, because we don't have a family portrait, And that's the least I can do for them. But in other spaces, it's those challenges, where people, they're thinking, you're going to save them. You're going to come up with this big media, or maybe you're from TV, you're from specific TVs, where they do like all this community thing. I feel like the idea of home, for me, it would be a place where I find peace. It's a place of good memories, even bad memories, because we do have like bad memories, And it's a place of comfort, because that's where like you are mostly comfortable at home, And I mean, when I say like a memory, it's, for me, like there's specific smells that when I smell like this thingy, like it reminds me of home, I remember growing up, I knew that every Sunday there will be the smell of, when they iron your school uniform. Yeah. There's the stitch of your white or your t-shirt, That smell still today, like when I sense that, or when I sense that smell, or when I smell that smell, I don't know if maybe it reminds me of home, because I don't smell that anywhere, So for me now, that's the idea of home. And looking at a four-roomed house and a sense of home, according to me, or the understanding of home, somehow they don't clash for me. Why? Because I grew up in a four-roomed house, I think part of me doing this project, it's me trying to remember what home felt like. Because we've lost like so many people, like in our families, people that made sure that the family structure is always together, like your grandparents, So after these people leave, or after they pass on, that's where like the family dispute zenzeka corner. This house is not for sale thingy. People are trying to be selfish. Now there's no peace anymore. Understand? So now, but in my understanding, or in my state of mind, when I look at the four-roomed house, that's where I see, or that's where I find peace. That's where the family thing, family, that's where family is, Yes, there are challenges, but looking at a four-roomed house, we grew up sleeping, like 5 of us, like in one room. Some will sleep like the kitchen, but still that was home for us. And that is good memories, you understand? But now you look at a four-roomed house and then you see like this house is not for sale. You already know there's a family dispute. Even if that four-room house is still a home to some certain extent, but there's that thingy. So I feel like a home for me, a four-room house will always be like a place of home, and it will always carry that sense of memory, home, peace, and so forth. So among Pakistan, I feel like Hook is inside this forum house, you know. So when you look at my work, like you see, Uti, this person, I'm not photographing a space where it's not familiar. So I'm photographing something that is familiar to me, right? So that's where I come from. And the forum house, I would say it's me because that's where I grew up. And I mean, I still live in a forum house, you know, and I still go there, you know, even if like there's this Josie life is hlala kuyo mhlampe, you know, but yeah, we fire obviously, and you know, hlala emaflatini, but a forum house, it's me. So when I look at my work, I see myself. I see a reflection of myself, you know. I see a reflection of my family. I see a reflection of where I grew up, you know. So yeah, I mean, like my work, I think my work, it's me, you know. I think I'm trying to preserve what I've lost, I think, because I've lost these memories, you know, along the way. So now I'm trying to preserve them. So yeah, I mean, I would say like the work, it's me, you know. It represents me, you know, as a guy that grew up in a township. What I would love my viewers to take away from view my work is a sense of belonging, peace, memory, because most of the people that buy my work or collect my work are people that grew up in the township, but now they're not in the township now. They've moved from the township to the suburbs. So when they collect the artworks, I normally ask them why did they buy the artwork, and then they explain. Good to know. I grew up in a township, but now I want to see this image, or I want to show my kids these images. Uguti, this is where we come from, or this is where I grew up, and as a buyer. So life was not always like in the suburb. Like we come from the dusty places of Soweto, and then we moved from there, from that place to a particular place that we are in now. You know, and again, I think going deep into Douglas Cardo's thesis, I think I would love my viewers to understand the meaning of the four-roomed house, because we grew up just knowing it's the matchbox house, you know. So now putting those elements like the NE51 and the structures and some of the information like in my work, or including those things, I mean, it's more of an educational thing, you know, that educates like the Black people that these houses, this is the structure, this is what these houses were meant to be, but now we find a way to turn these houses into something beautiful that it is now.